So the other day I posted my unboxing and first impressions of this very sleek, nice looking piece of hardware, the UPERFECT X14 Pro. This is a lapdock. This is something that you can have your Samsung device wirelessly connect to run DeX. You can plug in any device you want that has an HDMI cable, any device that can do video out over USB-C, so your Nintendo Switch, your Steam Deck. Don't think of this as a laptop, think of this as a portable monitor with a 10,000 milliamp hour battery, a touchscreen, and a keyboard that you can interface with pretty much anything that you want to interface with. It is $429, which is not necessarily the cheapest thing in the world. However, I do have some coupon codes in the bottom. Anything over $300, you're going to save $50 with the code Shane50. I'll drop all the links because it scales up. I'll drop them, not links, but the promo codes in the description. So save a little bit more than that, which I don't know if that promo code can stack with this promo code. But maybe when that promo code's gone, you can still use mine. I don't know. Anyways, that's the price. And maybe it's cheaper than that. Maybe it's not. But anyways, one of the things I had a lot of people asking me to try was to try and take my original Microsoft Surface Duo, boot into Windows 11, and see how this thing would work like that. See what you could do with it. Now, I thought about just including that when I do my full review, but the more I think about it, the more I think that doesn't really make a lot of sense to be in the full review because that's going to apply to such a narrow group of people. So I figured instead what I would do is I would make a standalone video. So I'm going to plug this thing into my computer. I'm going to boot into Windows 11. And then we're going to go through this setup, this very brief setup process, and I'll show you how this works. All right, so here we are now booted into Windows 11. And the first thing that you're going to have to do is pair this thing to the keyboard and the touch screen, right? Because that's how this thing works. Bluetooth connect, touch, blah, blah, blah. And then the keyboard is FB keyboard. Okay, great. So what we're going to do, luckily Bluetooth does function. So if you go into your Bluetooth settings here, you should be able to connect both of these things. And we are connected to both of them. You can see their FB keyboard and then touch. Now, unfortunately, the touch screen does not appear to work. I don't know why that is the case, but it does not appear to work. Now, from here, if we go back a screen and we click on Add Device, sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. We're going to click on Wireless Display or Dock. And sometimes it pops up here, sometimes it doesn't. This looks like one of the instances where it's not going to. So we're just going to close this stuff out. And we're going to click down here. Click, that's not the right word. I'm going to press what is the Windows key plus the K key. And this will launch the little casting thing. There you can see Flipbook. We're going to touch that to connect. And in just a moment, this thing should work. Now, sometimes this fails and I have to power cycle the lapdock. It seems to be a little bit finicky doing this, but hopefully it will work relatively quickly this time, although it's definitely not doing it as quickly as it has in prior testing. Couldn't connect, it says. So we're going to try again, and I'm probably going to wind up needing to power cycle the lapdock, which I'm just going to go ahead and cancel that, and we're going to go ahead and power cycle it really quickly because, like I said, sometimes this just doesn't work, and this is not a problem with any other device that I have messed with. It seems to only be a problem when trying to do this very weird thing of having Surface Duo running Windows 11, trying to connect to this external display. It's a very odd thing that I'm doing, and it doesn't seem to always work super duper well. We're going to try this again, though. There is the Flipbook display again. We're going to try to connect. Okay, now something is happening. We should be about to see a Windows screen there. Great. Now you can see we have it set to second screen only. Now you can duplicate, you can extend. If you duplicate, things look really weird. Extend might be useful, but I don't really see why that would be a thing you'd want to do. So I have this set to second screen only. And what this is going to do is make it so this is basically your primary display. And you would usually expect this to just be two black screens, but that does not happen. This screen does, in fact, stay active. It just gets very, very dim. And to make matters even stranger, you can see my cursor there. If I go all the way to the right, it does not pop up on that screen. So you're going to have to keep that in mind. We're going to set this down and out of the way so I can kind of show you what's going on here on this main screen. And we are going to zoom in just a little bit so that you can see a bit more easily how this is working. And honestly, spoiler alert here, it's actually working really well. Is the touchscreen working? No, the touchscreen does not seem to function even if it is in fact paired, which it is. I keep trying to use it and it's not going to work no matter how many times I try to do it, Shane. So just stop, okay? You're making a fool of yourself. But the trackpad does work. The keyboard does work. What else works? Well, rather surprisingly, the speakers work. Let's open up Edge and we're going to full screen this. And we have a video playing. It's trying its best to get shaped correctly. And the sound worked in an earlier test. Right now, it doesn't seem to be working. Now, let's see if we can turn up the volume. We may need to change the output. I had to toggle it back and forth. And now it is working. Granted, the speakers on this thing aren't great, but it is absolutely functioning. Whereas with the speakers on the Duo, it does not function. Let's open up some things here so you can see what kind of speed we have in terms of browsing. Let's go to Google pretty quick. We're going to go back to youtube.com on the home screen. You can see how this loads. It's not the fastest browser that you've ever seen, but you know, there it is. Let's load up the home screen of Reddit. You'll see how quickly this loads. Again, I'm not signed in on any of these things, but you can see, again, not the fastest thing in the world, but it does function. If we're going to do something stupid like this, we might as well do something really stupid like this and go ahead and install Steam. And maybe I'll try to install a small game and see what happens there. All right, so we have chosen fan favorite, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. It actually loaded up some mods that I had in the Steam Workshop, and we're just going to continue from whatever save I had last I played this game. You can see here I am level 1. Not a game I've really played a lot of, but like I said, the original Skyrim, it actually preset itself to high graphic settings. I don't know how well this is actually going to work, but we're going to find out here together as we load in. Again, this is running off of this thing wirelessly to this thing. This is very warm to the touch, guys. We are loaded in. What kind of latency am I going to have? Okay, I mean, yeah, there's some latency, but I mean, it's working. So let's shift tab here and turn on the frame counter in the top corner. And we're locking pretty much here at 30 FPS. I'm not going to actually attempt to really play this because I'm on a trackpad and there's some latency, but I think you can kind of get a general idea of what we're going to be expecting. This would be absolutely impossible to play. Definitely seen some dips into some lower frame rates, but if I were to lower the settings to like, you know, even medium or low, this is probably going to run a whole heck of a lot better. That's probably about as far as that portion of this demonstration needs to go. Gaming on this thing on lower end games, on lower settings, is going to be possible, but it might not be the most fun thing in the world. But yeah, there you go. Hopefully that kind of answers the question. Of course, video out over that USB-C port on Surface Duo, not yet working in Windows 11. So doing this wirelessly is the only way you can do it, which is going to make gaming a bit more difficult because you're introducing that input latency that, you know, that's just not a lot of fun. But you can see there what might be possible. If you're just browsing the web using it for lighter tasks, I think it's absolutely a viable way to use it. As always, if you want to know more about this Windows 11 project, this will be in a playlist full of videos on this subject, talking about how to install it, all sorts of other great things in that playlist. Like I said before, big shout out to UPERFECT for sending this thing over. Link to purchase it in the description down below. Stay tuned for my full review because I've got a lot to say about this thing when the time does come, probably here in maybe a half a week or so. I'll be able to kind of put it all together and put out that video. So subscribe so that you don't miss out on that, guys. I will see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.